In the high-stakes arena of modern geopolitical warfare, the gap between superpower dominance and regional defiance is rarely measured in open combat. Instead, it is defined in the shadows, in the split-second bloodless encounters where technological supremacy renders an adversary completely helpless. There is one specific moment in military history that perfectly encapsulates this terrifying disparity. It didn't happen during the massive missile exchanges of recent Middle Eastern escalations, nor was it part of a declared shock and awe campaign. It occurred in March 2013 over the heavily monitored, ultra-tense international waters of the Persian Gulf. An American MQ-1 Predator drone was cruising at 15,000 feet, conducting routine unclassified signals intelligence and reconnaissance. The Predator is many things: a persistent eye in the sky, a platform for targeted Hellfire missile strikes, but it is definitively not a dogfighter. With a slender propeller-driven airframe and a top speed struggling to cross 135 miles per hour, it is a sitting duck for any conventional fighter jet. And on this particular morning, the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force spotted it on their regional radar. Seeing an opportunity to score a propaganda victory and assert dominance over the strategic Strait of Hormuz, Western Iran's Air Defense Command scrambled two F-4 Phantom II fighter jets to intercept and eliminate the American drone. The Iranian pilots pushed their throttles forward, climbing into the sky fully believing they held all the cards. They had no idea they were flying directly into a calculated technological trap. To understand why this encounter became legendary in the corridors of the Pentagon, we must examine the machines Iran sent into battle. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II is a legendary twin-engine long-range supersonic interceptor. In the 1960s and 70s, it was the undisputed workhorse of American air power, dominating the skies over Vietnam. It was fast, heavily armed, and imposing. Before the Islamic Revolution of 1979, when Washington and Tehran were close allies, the imperial state of Iran purchased a massive fleet of these advanced American jets. Fast forward to 2013. Those very same airframes were now nearly 50 years old. Cut off from official American spare parts, Boeing engineering support, and critical software updates for over 3 decades, Iran's engineers had to rely on black market smuggling, reverse engineering, and cannibalizing older airframes just to keep a fraction of the fleet airworthy. Yet to Tehran, these modified F-4 Phantoms, alongside a handful of F-14 Tomcats, represented the cutting edge of their conventional air defense. As the two Iranian Phantoms closed the distance toward the slow-moving MQ-1 Predator, their analog radar systems locked onto the drone, the pilots prepared their air-to-air missiles. From their perspective, the mission was simple: corner the unarmed American intruder, force it down, or blow it out of the sky. But the United States military does not leave its strategic assets unprotected. Following a previous incident in 2012 where Iranian Su-25 aircraft fired upon an American drone, The Pentagon had quietly implemented a strict classified policy. Every high-value surveillance asset operating near hostile airspace would have an invisible guardian angel. On this day, that guardian angel was a single Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. The F-22 Raptor is not just a fighter jet. It is a monument to absolute air dominance. Conceived during the final decades of the Cold War to counter next-generation Soviet threats, the Raptor was engineered with a single, uncompromising directive to enter heavily defended airspace, destroy the enemy before they even know it is there, and leave without a scratch. It is a fifth-generation marvel, defined by three core pillars: low observable stealth supercruise capability and unmatched sensor fusion. While an F-4 Phantom reflects radar waves like a flying barn door, the F-22's radar cross-section is roughly the size of a metal marble. Its exterior is coated in highly classified radar-absorbent materials, and its edges are precisely aligned to scatter electromagnetic energy away from enemy receivers. Furthermore, its twin Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines allow it to supercruise sustaining speeds of Mach 128 without engaging its afterburners. This means the Raptor can travel at blistering speeds while maintaining a minimal infrared and thermal signature, saving precious fuel and staying hidden from thermal sensors. But the real weapon of the F-22 is its AN/APG-77 Active Electronically Scanned Array (ESA) radar combined with an advanced electronic warfare suite. This system allows the Raptor to track multiple targets across vast distances, jamming enemy communications and radars with surgical precision, all while remaining completely passive and undetected. Long before the Iranian F-4 pilots had even cleared their coastal airspace, the F-22 pilot flying out of a forward deployed base in the region already had them completely locked on his tactical display. The Raptor's sensor fusion integrated data from satellite feeds, regional AWACS aircraft, and its own onboard passive arrays, presenting the pilot with a crystal-clear, three-dimensional God-eye view of the battle space. The Iranian pilots were flying blind into a combat envelope entirely controlled by a ghost. What happened next is a masterclass in psychological warfare and tactical superiority. An ordinary pilot seeking to protect a drone might have painted the Iranian jets with targeting radar from a distance. A radar warning receiver alert inside the cockpit of the F-4 Phantoms would have screamed a frantic warning, signaling that an American fighter was locking them up. This would usually prompt a defensive maneuver or a retreat, but the F-22 pilot didn't want to just scare them away. He wanted to send an unforgettable message about the absolute futility of Iran's airspace ambitions, utilizing the Raptor's complete stealth profile. The American pilot slipped through the sky completely undetected by both Iran's ground-based early warning radars and the onboard systems of the F-4s. He didn't engage his targeting radar. He didn't broadcast a single radio frequency. He simply matched the speed and trajectory of the lead Iranian aircraft. The F-22 pilot maneuvered his multi-billion-dollar stealth fighter directly underneath the lead Iranian F-4 Phantom. Let the sheer tactical reality of that sink in. The Iranian pilot was flying at thousands of feet, eyes locked on his instrument panels, and the distant dot of the MQ-1 drone completely oblivious to the fact that the world's most lethal air dominance fighter was cruising just a few meters below his belly. Had this been an actual kinetic engagement, the Raptor could have opened its internal weapons bays and unleashed an AM-9X Sidewinder or an AM-120 AMRAM before the Iranians could even utter a word on the radio. For a few agonizing moments, the Raptor maintained this shadow formation. Then, deciding the lesson was complete, the American pilot pulled his stick back. The F-22 accelerated smoothly, banking left and climbing effortlessly right alongside the cockpit of the lead Iranian F-4. This 2013 incident is more than just a thrilling piece of military lore. To defense analysts at institutions like the Pentagon or the International Institute for Strategic Studies, it serves as a glaring case study in asymmetric air defense and regional deterrence. It highlights the brutal reality that Iran's conventional air force lives in a bygone era. Following the 1979 revolution and the grueling, devastating 8-year Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s, Tehran realized it could never compete weapon for weapon against the United States or its heavily funded Gulf allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. While the West was developing stealth net-centric warfare and precision-guided cruise missiles, Iran was struggling just to source basic hydraulic fluids and turbine blades for its decaying American-built fleet. This realization forced a massive shift in Iran's military doctrine, moving away from expensive conventional air superiority platforms toward asymmetric warfare. If you cannot control the skies with fighter jets, you flood the theater with cheap, mass-produced alternatives. This is why in the decades following the 2013 encounter, Iran invested billions into two specific areas: ballistic missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. They developed the Shahed series of loitering munitions, the very same suicide drones that have flooded modern conflict zones from the Middle East to Ukraine. These drones don't require highly trained pilots, multi-million-dollar maintenance facilities, or clear runways. They are launched from the backs of civilian trucks, rely on commercial GPS guidance, and rely on sheer numbers to overwhelm sophisticated air defenses through saturation tactics. Simultaneously, Iran developed layered air defense systems of their own, such as the Bavar 373 and the Khordad 15, trying to replicate the denial of service capabilities of Russia's S-300 and S-400 systems. Their strategy became clear: if we cannot fly in the sky, we will make sure no one else can fly safely either. Yet, despite Iran's massive pivot toward drone swarms and asymmetric missile barrages, the core lesson of the 2013 F-22 intercept remains entirely intact. Technology changes, but the fundamental law of air dominance does not. When the United States military deploys its premium assets, it operates at a level of situational awareness that regional powers simply cannot match. The F-22 Raptor, now augmented by the widely exported F-35 Lightning II, forms a stealth umbrella that completely alters the calculus of any potential adversary. In a modern conflict scenario over the Persian Gulf or the South China Sea, the ability to see without being seen, to jam enemy sensors while mapping their exact coordinates, and to intercept hostile actions before they manifest is the ultimate form of strategic deterrence. The 2013 incident proved that the best way to win a battle is to convince your opponent that fighting is completely useless. The moment that F-22 pilot appeared next to that aging F-4 Phantom, he didn't just save a drone. He demonstrated that in the realm of high-tech warfare, total dominance is silent, invisible, and absolute. As long as superpowers maintain this generational leap in aerospace engineering, regional air forces operating legacy equipment are not playing a game of strategy. They are merely operating on borrowed time. What do you think about this incredible display of stealth dominance? Could modern drone swarms eventually render the F-22's traditional air superiority obsolete, or will stealth technology always reign supreme over the modern battlefield? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to dive deeper into the mechanics of fifth-generation warfare classified stealth programs and breaking military analysis from around the world, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Warfront Logic right now. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next briefing.